Thank you so much for joining. I know it started a little bit not on time, but I'm so glad to see people here on Twitter X. Hey, Conrad, Joe, Altered Alley, and Drano. So happy to see you. I'm glad that Joe and Altered Alley are here, only because there are questions I do definitely have to ask them in terms of content creating in the metaverse and or Web3. Of course, it's always wonderful to see the Mainnet Xenu community show up. Always really happy to see them. So shout out to Conrad and Drano. So we are multi-streaming. And we are also broadcasting live on Metaverse Radio. And so before we do start, I want to say that this program's content does not necessarily represent the views of Metaverse Radio and is for entertainment only. It is not legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. The hosts, guest speakers, artists, and other collaborators may have personal or financial interest in the subjects they discuss. So please critically assess the information presented. Not all content is appropriate for all ages. Listener discretion is advised. All right. I have not been counting what episode this is of Tech Talk Tuesday, but I don't know, maybe I should. Maybe starting 2025, I will, and we'll do like a season 2 of it. Let's see. But this is Tech Talk Tuesday, and we always talk about things technology. Well, today I wanted to really discuss what were people using to create the things they do, meaning like what devices are they using, what graphics card, what platforms, what software or combinations thereof. I think that in Web3 we have a lot of people in the community that really share how they created stuff. It's no longer like, it's not a competition like how it used to be. It's not like, well, I'm not going to tell you how I did this because I want to be the only one to create this. It's absolutely not like that at all. And I think it's fantastic. That kind of mindset and mentality just makes it, I don't know, it's a win-win for everybody, really. And I know Conrad's like, it's so true. Oh, MetaMike's here and Kbot. So glad that they're here too, because they're also creating in the metaverse. I'm actually glad that MetaMike and Kbot are here because they're also creators of the metaverse. And I would really love for them, if they want to, and if they have the time, because sometimes they're multitasking, just because we sit here. I mean, not we sit here, but we are participating in these Twitter X spaces doesn't mean that we're also doing a lot of other things in RL. It's just it's a just different world we're living in right now as opposed to 30 years ago. Alrighty then. If you don't mind, I'm always scared to ask this, but if you don't mind, if you can tweet this out or post it out, I need to do that as well. I think I only posted it once, and then of course Twitter X reminds you that the space is starting. I know there are some people. I really hope Hexadized or AR Wonderland shows up here because I'd love to have them on board. Speaking of AR Wonderland, we're going to talk about Wonderland, of course, over the reality and Webby Social. The reason why is because they are platforms that are doing things in terms of empowering the creator community. And when we're talking about creators, here's the thing: you don't have to like create like AI avatars like MetaMike, or you don't have to create like ridiculously long chapters of a comic book Halloween scary 3D. You jump into it like that band. No, you don't have to create like, never-ending portals like Altered Alley where I don't know what something's going to happen to the world. No, you don't have to do that. Or you don't have to create like an avatar convention center like Kbot. No, you can also do what I'm doing. Just a talking head. That's what I'm doing. Even if, like, see, the term creators, it's such a huge umbrella because we don't even just have to talk about creating using 3D models or Unity or creating on spatial or over, although we will be talking about that, right? But we can also be talking about creating any type of content, even a post, even a Facebook post, an Instagram post or story or reel, or you know what I mean, a video short for YouTube. That is content, and you are creating it. Doesn't matter how you're creating it. And if you are, I'd also love to know, like, what type of gadgets are you using? What type of cameras? What does your setup look like? It's not about, oh, I have this type of camera, or oh, I have this faster graphics card computer processor and all that stuff. No, it's not like that. It's just, I am just literally curious into what goes behind the scenes to what people end up creating and using with, and what the and to come up with these like crazy amazing results. Now I would love if you guys want to actually let me just throw the mic to all these creators. And I don't know, Conrad could be a creator, Joe could be Drano could be a creator. We know Joe is a creator. And guys, Bit Basil is just around the corner. Like, is it in a few days? I don't know. Like, when does it start? Like, it's insane, really. Hey, Meta Mike. Hey, Hey, Kbot. How's it going?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Wow, it's kind of early for you, Kbot. I know you're all the way in the West Coast. And Meta Mike, we're like city fam, hometown city fam. I keep forgetting that, but we are. I got a question.
Together.
Right. Oh my
It's
goodness.
cold today. I don't want the cold to come.
I know, but it's gonna happen. Let's all move over to. Let's all hunker down over at K-Bots. Like.
Yeah, come on through for these $3,000 a month. Let me just shut up.
No, K-Bot. No, don't. You know what I love about you? You're like me. Don't shut up. It's a free space. What were you gonna say?
The cost of living here is outrageous. It's just amazing that people can make it. So yeah, the weather's perfect. It's paradise weather, but it's hell economically. So I'll just leave it there for some of us, at least.
Same with in Toronto. Like my whole family's in Toronto. My grandma's buried in Toronto. I want to move back to Toronto. There's no way I can move back to Toronto. Not with the cost of living the way it costs. I'd have to move out in a farm, and somebody's gonna have to rent out a room in the barn for me to afford to move back to that part of Canada around Toronto. Right now, I live in a small city in right in the middle of downtown. It's not Toronto, it's not New York, it's not LA, but hey, the mall is just 4-minute walk, and that's fine with me. But I get it. Oh my God, I get it. You guys, we have Rex down here. So Rex Gatling, as you know, if you've been in these spaces, oh my goodness, he's like an XR developer of multi XR devices. Like, it's insane. I think his last post, he was showing off there with his like studly, I don't know, camel coat and red turtleneck and all that stuff. But literally, he was wearing like 3 types of X-Real glasses. I'm like, come on, Rex, come on. I threw him a mic, but I know he's just down there. He's developing. He just came out with like well, maybe not just. I think last week it came out with a snowball. I forgot the name of your app, like a snow globe app for X-Real, and I've been meaning to purchase it and download it and just try it. And I want one of Rex Gatling's apps or games to be the first one that I try on X-Real. So that's really cool. MetaMic and Kbot. Altered Alley and Joe, I know I sent you a mic. You guys must be like getting yourself settled or deep in the creating game. I want to start with MetaMic first. MetaMic, so what platform? You're very prolific. No, what's that word? You're very. My goodness, it's so late in the morning. You create a lot of content on spatial, right? MetaMic, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Now,
I missed some of that because I got a call right in the middle of you saying that.
I was saying you create a lot of content on spatial. Is there any other platform like Voxels or Decentraland that you also create content on?
Not really, just because I don't know. I just haven't had the time to venture out, and I feel like I haven't even touched the surface of what I could do on spatial. That it seems like it's hard to. I don't know if starting over is the word, but like climbing the new hill, of figuring out how to use this thing and that thing and all these different platforms and all the different nuances for each one of them. I don't mean to discourage anybody else from doing that, because most definitely you should, and I should too. But I just want to I don't know. I want to know more about spatial really right now, because it's like I said, it's something I would use. It's something that's so easily accessible that I have to focus my efforts there, just because of the fact that anybody could jump in on a URL or a text or something. If there was other platforms that were like that, I'd be more motivated to like work with them. That's why I'm working with like OVR, because it's the only really comparable thing to spatial in my eyes, like in terms of accessibility for like the average person, you know?
Okay, that's a good point you brought up, and I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to switch over to KBot. Thanks for sharing that, MetaMike. KBot, you create a lot on Voxels, correct?
Yeah, but I have some sobering news, everyone.
Oh, okay. What is that?
I guess it's another Toxic Tech Talk Tuesday. Voxels is in a coma. And when I say that, I say that respectfully, meaning for the past months, even during the Halloween event, it worked for like 2 days and then it stopped working. So no one can edit. You can't dress your avatar. You can't click on any links. You can't add your NFTs. You can't token gate. All the features are just frozen. So what I'm learning from these metaverses, and also in spatial, from my dope ass computer, I haven't been able to have sound there for the past 2 months. I think what we all have to do ultimately is self-custody our digital assets in spite of any metaverse's utility. So, maybe that is a good computer with a lot of storage space, or a cloud situation where we can place it, or even a blockchain technology aspect where no matter what, we still can move, just like your body. For example, if your car breaks down, you're going to get an Uber, you're going to get a ride, you're going to use another car. I think that these metaverses are tools, and if you're setting your business up in a metaverse, these tools have to work, and I'm there for business. I'm there for community, of course, but, I can't allow my reputation, whatever that is, to start out with all this energy by being stifled. And this also touches on that decentralization, because I guess decentralization can also mean you're on your own. You're on your own.
No. Oh my God. I don't know how when I heard that, to me, it's like if I was, well, you're taking it really well, first of all. Did you manage to get in touch with the Voxels tech team or whatever to say, hey, what's going on?
The Discord is, listen, Ben is a genius. He's a mad scientist, like I said a couple of weeks ago. Imagine being on a Carnival cruise ship or you're on a space show or SpaceX or some type of spaceship, and Star Trek, it's just Captain Kirk. So Sulu and Spock and everyone else has left the ship. So he's literally flying the ship solo. He's the engineer. He's the communications person. He's the cook, the chef, the marketing person. And, when you're coding millions and millions of code, it's very hard to keep that thing perfect with the bugs showing up. So, some of us have, like, I have a V6 SUV, 6 cylinders, okay? 4 cylinders, you can just pop up the spark plugs and pop them out. If you have a 6 cylinder, you have to go inside the engine a little bit and take out pieces to get to those other spark plugs. And these metaverses are not any different, in my opinion now. And someone can prove me wrong. You have to move the engine to get to those little itty bitty pieces that are actually sort of like inconsequential, but the fact that they're so far away, and it's just hard to get to them. But while the car is still running, we still want to use these metaverse spaces while they're operating and maintenance. So that's a challenge. I believe is going to be something that we have to address. So he has to reboot the server when he updates it, and if there's so many bugs, he has to constantly reboot it, and then he'll turn the thing back on, and something works, and then something doesn't work. So the people that he used to have there to fix this, they're not there anymore, because that was during the bull market when everyone was being paid astronomical amounts of money to work in these spaces. Even Disney killed their metaverse. department. And it was sad because people were very excited about it. So all space VR and Disney, it's just this technology. We know what we want. We have the creative outlook to innovate, but the tech and what we're asking for is like we're literally putting it on someone else to complete this coding, this development. And if we can't pay them, they won't stay because like Roblox, if you go to Indeed.com, Roblox, they're paying their developers upwards of $150,000 to $300,000 a year. And at this time, I don't know if Ben has that kind of money, especially since he's anti-corporate. He does not want corporations to come in and take over his metaverse.
Wow.
So there's that.
Wow. That what you just said there is a topic series in and of itself. Like, I hear you. I understand this. Coming from a Web 2, we all came from Web 2, okay? So whatever. So I know that in Web 2, I created a lot of content and they're not around anymore because remember Posterous? I don't know if you remember Posterous, but it was like, I don't know, like it was a blogging platform. Posterous, there was like this whole 20x, they're not there anymore. It's all on the web, like Internet Archive, if you can find your stuff. There was Paperly, paper.li, where you can create your own like magazine or newspaper online, and then if you had your own specialized customized domain, you just pointed forward so it would look like your own website. I did a whole bunch of AI stuff on that, and now that's gone. It is really frustrating, and that is one of the things that has always concerned me in this digital aspect, right? Being digital and creating things on digital, because you create things on digital to hopefully make it last. Like, I know for me, it's like a digital historical document or story of my life or whatever else, but then it's not there anymore. It's very, very frustrating, right, K-Bot?
Yeah, and if anyone wants to correct me, I'm totally fine with being corrected because I am a learner here. I came from Clubhouse. I don't know if many of you were on Clubhouse back in 2020, 2021. And it is not what it was. So even here on Twitter X and in the metaverse, when you have third-party companies, you pay them to have features on your platform, just like you would an app. And it costs money. I don't know what the monetization of Twitter is, but I think when it comes to transparency, that's something that needs to be addressed as well. Because in capitalism, I think we use trade secrets and NDAs as a way to keep secrets or to be cloaked. But if we're all trying to build a whole new industry, where does that start and stop? Because if Ben, the creator of Voxel, said, "Hey, I need an extra $1,000 a month. You guys would like to chip in and help me keep these features going," because he's also taking out YouTube and Twitch. So if you build on Voxel's metaverse right now, you can't add Twitch or YouTube, which is not okay. So he's building Voxel's next, which is the evolution of Voxel's. But some people in the Discord said, "Hey, if you can't get Voxel's Classic to work, why would we trust you to make Voxel's next work?" So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's my goodness. Like, I wish we could, you know what, maybe we'll definitely have a topic like this because it's of concern to everyone, even if you're not a content creator, because it's a concern because you are using these platforms to engage with people. It's become, these digital platforms become part of your life. You're vested in it, even if you are not utilizing any of its NFTs or tokens, though I don't know why you wouldn't. You are investing your time and energy. And that's one thing. I do want to do a shout out to One Woman and Ira. So glad you guys joined. I also want to do a shout out to Moody and Bizart, the Moody and Bizart. Thank you so much for joining. And Expectar and Webby Social. So if you don't know, I think we had Expectar CEO. He was here with us. Was it 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago? Oh my goodness. And Expectar is like doing insane things. I know MetaMike is very, very familiar with Expectar. He's like building things on Expectar. And I'd love to have them on if they want, you know what, if you have time, you know what, let me just throw the mic to some people. I've thrown the mic to some people. I know you guys aren't really, maybe some of you can't. I know Ira's always busy creating, and some people aren't really allowed, not allowed, but unable to speak right now and participate because they're doing other things, but I really appreciate them joining. I would also, I know I did a shout out to Webby Social, and Webby Social is definitely one platform I said I was going to talk about. If you don't know, please click on Webby Social and follow them, because for me, to me, Webby Social is building the hub for Web3 for content creators of all kinds and developers to really get together. And this is like fantastic. And they're doing leaps and bounds in terms of moving this platform forward. So if you're not part of Webby Social, I don't know why you're not. I mean, I was so honored to have been invited to join the beta to test it out, and I'm such a bad beta tester because I still, even though they kindly remind me, I still have to update my content there, because honestly, that platform is moving fast and furious, and there's so many people, content creators onboarding, and I took a peek, and some of the stuff that they're creating is like insane. So I'm just getting fallen behind, left in the dust. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Expector. Hello, and Altered Alley. Thank you so much for coming. How's everything going? Expector, you guys are like on a roll. Like, you guys are so active on socials. Well, on Twitter X anyway. How are you?
Yeah, well, we are pretty active, you know. It's me, by the way, Carmen. It's,
well, Dirk, Dirk, so guess what? You're everywhere. Like, I noticed in some of the spaces on mobile, there's like these X spaces going, and it's like, oh, Dirk, blah blah blah, is speaking, and I go in, and you're speaking in spaces like you have a very broad interest in Web3. You're like everywhere, and I remember last time you did not sleep because
we try to be omnipresent, because you know it's very important that people notice you. It's very important that you show up, and it's pretty tiring as well. But I think it's important to show people that you are there, that you're interested in what they are doing, and that that you just show up. People underestimate the time and the effort it takes. Often I put my phone next to me and I'm listening while I'm working, but again, you do want to have respect for the people on stage and organizing the space, so you have to be at least a little bit attentive of what's being said, especially if they allow you on stage. So yeah, it's a lot, but I was just looking. In like 30 months, we did 30,000 plus posts on X from the Expector platform. So that's about 1,000 posts a month. We try to. It's a full-time job for a couple of team members. You know, creating content. I believe that it's really important to show progress as well, to communicate with the community, to ask the community what they think, and often it's of course marketing, and it's pushing sales as well. And we got some criticism, well, it's buy, but I heard your previous conversation about the cost of everything. We have done everything ourselves, with, of course, help from the community. There are no VCs, no external investors involved. We are working on multi-chain or omni-chain expansion, currently speaking with the Yuga Labs and ApeCoin DAO regarding ApeChain, because I do think, even though it's a layer 3, that the ecosystem of Yuga and the apes is very close aligned to what we're doing. They, of course, have their other side as well. So there might be an opening there. In the meantime, also talking to Polygon, Avalanche, and Binance Smart Chain. But yeah, you know, you have to take it step by step. And we started building, as I've said before, on the XRP Ledger, which is a chain that has almost zero interest in what we're doing. However, we were able to build a strong community to sell digital goods and assets for, I think, somewhere around $8 million. We've invested everything back into the project. We have over 50 full-time employees. We have by now about 120 independent builders that are using the EDK, just like Mike is doing. And people like K-Bob and you and Mike and everybody else in here, it's very valuable for us to have professionals or semi-professionals that have been building on other platforms to jump in and to actually give feedback, because I just had a team called Mike. I've heard that you had some very good ideas and some very valuable feedback, and that's how we are able to actually keep going. But in the end, in the next few weeks or months, we will definitely have to raise some serious capital. But I'm very proud of what we have done. I think there is a lot of polishing to do still. But if I compare Expector to lots of other projects on lots of other chains, we've done pretty well. Everything that we have is actually pretty good. I'm very proud of it, and it's thanks to the team, of course, because we've been working for 30 months during a bear market almost 24/7.
Wow. I mean, I'm so glad you came up, Dirk, because I know you're so big, like really. But I'm happy that it's really going well for Expector and the team. But more than that, I'm just so impressed at your involvement and engagement because I mean, you show up as yourself on your X account. You show up and you handle the Expector account. Like you are there deep in the weeds, you are there at the front lines, you are there in the back lines. And I don't know, I personally, I could be wrong because I'm not really, like everywhere on Twitter or socials or X or whatever, but I don't see a lot of CEOs that is very active on socials. And it's not a way to judge. It's not saying that, oh, if a co-founder or CEO or a C-suite people, if they're not active on socials, oh, poo-poo on them. It's not like that at all. I understand it's a personality thing, adaption thing, whatever thing. It's their thing like this. But for me anyway, I really appreciate that you are completely engaged, not just with community, but also outreach. Like I know you also saunter into different spaces and communities and you listen and you share, and that goes a long way. That goes a long way in terms of what you represent, not just for the brand, the platform, but also the community. Like you're literally walking the talk with the community.
I think it's the core ethos of distributed ledger technology and crypto in general. It should come from retail. It should be a grassroots approach, and that's the only way to really succeed. It's probably the hard way, but I think it's the most sustainable way.
I understand it, but it's probably the hard way because it's so time consuming. It's so energy. I would love to say energy draining, but draining not in a negative way. It is because when you give your time in these digital formats and you don't have sleep, but your brain is taking in information. It takes some type of energy for you. I get it's hard in the beginning, but it goes such a long way. I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad that I was able to join in. So I met Expector, the brand, or I found out about them because MetaMike just decided to do like a little pop-up. Oh, this is what I'm doing in RL. And he was like creating a line of shirts and designing them. And then Expector was there and he jumped on the mic and he was talking. And they were like, what? What do you mean a virtual world built on Unreal Engine 5? What? And then that's when I followed them, and then I asked Dirk to please come and speak, and he did, and I really appreciate that. And I'm just so I better just be quiet. I don't want to make a comparison with any other C-suites here. So let's just like not go there. Don't go there, Carmen. Back away, back away. So I am backspacing my verbiage. Backspace, backspace. You stay right there, Dirk. I mean, you can go if you want to, but I really appreciate you. I want to move on to Altered Alley. Sir, Altered Alley, the one who's opening up portals in different virtual worlds and has not been able to close them. How are you?
Not too bad, Carmen.
Oh, and you laugh. So go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go.
No, you go.
Go. No, so you're very prolific. I can never say that word. You create a lot of content on Spatial, do you not?
Yeah, I create tons and tons of content on Spatial. Do events and stuff. We're actually doing an event Friday, the 15th. Kind of a fun one. Hexadize and Honeycomb are going to be at a club out in Dallas, and we're going to like live stream the club into spatial.
Oh yeah, is that for Artgasm?
Yep, Artgasmic.
Oh,
Yep,
sorry,
so there's,
Artgasmic.
Okay. But, yeah, so
Artgasmic.
it's all all fucking latex and bondagey and all that kind of stuff.
Bondagey.
It's definitely coming right up to the line of sticking with the terms of service, not getting shut down. But it's all art. There's no nudity or nothing like that. So
Okay, I mean that's what it is.
Spot.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's kind of like pushing the boundaries. How far can you push the boundaries in terms of technology and the content you create in order for your platform or you to get to be able to get shut down? Like, isn't that what like part of human creativity is? It's just being who you are and not being who you are, but you know what I mean. So what other platforms have you created on? I know you've created on what's that word? Super World?
Yeah, I create a ton of stuff on Superworld, like these worldwide geolocated maps. Quite a bit on Over. And there's been several that have come through Hyperfy and like all these stuff that are like pretty close to spatial. Tons of them. A lot of them I just kind of have little placeholders. Like, if this really starts working, I might spend more time on it. I really haven't found, like Mike was saying, there's nothing quite like spatial out there. And then OVR being like, close to it, as far as like they do different things, but those are great. And I've actually really had my eye on Expectar for a while.
Ooh, good one.
As far as like moving into like the Unreal Engine side, it's like spatial is probably going to be the best one there is as far as Unity and like VR worlds. But I am really interested in what they're doing because I think the future, there's going to be a lot more Unreal. You know what I mean? I think a lot of stuff now on Unity just works a little better, works better on the phones. Unreal's a bit more intense, but I am interested in the Expectar. And if there was like a real cheap piece of land in the far corner somewhere, I would love to start getting established on there.
Well, we are selling our final land plots, and they're for sale. If you pay an Expector tokens, they're only 888 Expector. So I think they're just like somewhere $20-25 US. And if you are a builder and apply for the Builders Academy like Mike did, you get early access to our EDK or Environment Development Kit. And of course, the first region that is already live and that will be populated is Marina City. I purchased personally quite a few plots in there, and I have always said that for creators that actually have some interesting stuff to show or some activities to create or stuff to sell or whatever, that I will be offering my plots free of charge to use and put whatever you're building on there for the time being. We have to kickstart this, and the more interesting stuff there is going on, the more success we will all have. The thing, what you said about spatial, I think they are doing a pretty good job. What I didn't get, or what we didn't get, is that you go to a 2D website and then go from one environment to another. We actually have our home world where you jump into and then go to one environment and the other through doorways that act actually as hyperlinks. And regarding the Unity versus Unreal, we didn't make our lives easier by choosing Unreal. But I think it's the choice for the future, and we have considered doing some SDKs for Unity as well. But we have to keep focused. It's already complicated enough. I have to say, if I would have known what it took to get to this point, I would probably have never, ever, ever started this. However, it's pretty exciting. I have a degree in law. I have been a property developer for most of my life, and I needed a new challenge. I was planning to retire at 40. I sold most of my businesses at 39, and after exactly 3 hours, I was bored as hell, and I started writing a white paper with the help of my back then 9 or 8-year-old son, who loves, of course, Fortnite and Roblox and all that good stuff. He's pretty proud of Daddy building something that he sees as a game. To me, it's more like the 3D internet, and And I think we touched base about what the flaws in the current internet were. It's like it's a pretty one-dimensional stuff. Of course, doing stuff in 3D, I think it's the future. About 600 million people are using metaverse-like environments today. 52% of them are below 13 years old, so those are the future internet users. 402 or 404, 402 error in the current internet. Payment required. Something that blockchain technology resolves, peer-to-peer instant payments without the need of third parties. And then, of course, combining the social experience, the social platform with whatever we want. You know, it can be games, it can be e-commerce, it can be whatever you can imagine in 3D. So let's see how it goes. We're probably still early. We have big competitors, of course, that for some reason seem to have given up, or I don't know. I think a smaller team that is laser focused has quite a high chance of to succeed. And you know, if people ask me what should be the end goal, well, I do realize that without some serious funding, it will be very, very hard. But you can become a thorn in the eye of the bigger players, and hopefully somebody notices us and then decides that it's worthwhile getting involved.
Well, you know, I definitely see what you're saying. The one thing I think with the expector in the purchasing the land, I'm almost afraid that, and I'm not trying to insult in any way, but, you know, making like a big dead mall, you know what I mean? Getting all these people who buy all this land but don't build anything. It's all these people like, I'm just going to buy this land, and in a year I'm going to flip it. I'm going to make a bunch of money. But you're not getting artists there.
There is, by the way, on YouTube, there is I think it's about Decentraland. It's the future of the metaverse, a dead mall or something is the title. It takes like an hour or two. It's pretty interesting. We've watched it multiple times. And if you take the approach like we're doing, and if you are dealing with crypto bros and blockchain guys, well, then the whole stakeholders principle of people that can become part owner and have benefits within the network, yeah, then you have the risk of exactly what you're saying, that people are speculating on the price going up, and that could be an issue, and that's an issue that we try to address by concentrating as many builders and as many community members on us in a smaller area. That's why we also started our beta with the town square. So let's see how that goes. But I think, you know, success brings in success, and it's actually people like you guys that will be a crucial factor, because we realize that we do not have the people nor the money to actually build. You know, we have no intention to build GTA, you know. But again, the user-generated content, if you guys each build something nice and you build your own community around it and you draw your own audience and we bring them all together in the bigger hall, that's probably the best chance of success. And will we succeed? I don't know. Will we try? Definitely. So it's, I would quote, I'm 42, so maybe it's a little bit, well, I was young when the song came out, but it's like 50 Cent said, get rich or die trying. Well, in this case, it's build a metaverse or die trying.
Wow. Nobody's dying yet. But yeah, I love it. I love that you guys are also thinking about doing a Unity SDK, although I know you mentioned it, but that's still down the road, because man, tackling a virtual world on Unreal Engine, like, that is insane. What were you on? You must have, like, you know, I don't know what, but you're there now, and thank you so much, because we do know that Unreal is definitely very powerful. It is not the easiest, but yet, you know, it is what it is, and I'm glad that you're building it. And Altered Alley's laughing. K-Bot, I see MetaMike. He had his hand up, but then I also have one woman here because she wanted to come up. Well, actually, I invited her, but I know there's questions I have to ask her too. But K-Bot, I know you wanted to jump in while someone was speaking. It could have been Dirk. High five.
I can wait.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say, sir?
Okay. I've been to Expector. I'm on Spatial, Roblox, and voxels and Decentraland and Sandbox. And there's nothing like experiencing your self-custody digital assets in 3D in your headset that you own, it's in your wallet. So this character behind my bald head face is my avatar that I want to show up as in every metaverse that I already own. So if you're making basically real quick, my identity should be the first thing that a platform is concerned about, opposed to making a profit on your investment. And if we all continue to have this profit-driven mentality that, oh, it's going to die if we don't make money, then that's a shame, because I exist and you all exist as people without, I wake up and I'm in my body. Like I own my name. And if this is a digital twin of that, there shouldn't be a paywall to me to exist in reality or in digital life. So the interoperability, self-sovereignty is something, and my identity is something I think a lot of platforms are overlooking. And yes, the children are the future, but what is Roblox teaching the children about self-custody, blockchain technology, and ownership of their creations instead of the platform owning it? So that's just, and everybody wants hyper-realistic, beautiful looking, smooth, but you're trading that for centralization. So it's just like, why, if you're here to make money, I don't know if Web3 monetization has actually become a toddler yet or even matured. Thank you. I'll land right there.
Wow. Again, really good points. Dirk, did you have something to say for that?
Yeah, I think that part of the whole Web3 and own your own assets thing is actually a financial education as well, because those assets become tradable assets, and there's definitely a part education of it. And I agree, actually, even though we're probably not taking the perfect approach, I agree with most criticism or feedback that Kbot gives. It's very hard because there are so many components. I would love to have everything interoperable, and I wouldn't mind people buying 3D assets, whatever they are, cars, avatars, whatever, and guarantee them that wherever they have purchased them, that they will work inside what we're building. However, it's pretty tricky, because we have to do some kind of verification. We have to make sure that it actually runs. And that's where there is, at this stage, at least some kind of centralization indeed, because we have to guarantee, we work together with B-Meta Yachts. Those guys are from Texas. They create one-on-one yachts of actual, it looks fantastic, and they sold stuff on Bitcoin with ordinals. They are currently also doing something on ApeChain, but and Meta Rights as well. They're doing most of their stuff on Polygon. Very good friends, really cool, all Unreal Engine. But if somebody sells something and they take all the money, which is perfectly fine, but then people own a digital asset as an NFT and they want to use it in our metaverse. Well, we have to make sure, or somebody has to make sure, that it actually runs. And at this stage, we're still quite early, so it's still us that do the verification. However, in the very near future, we should be able to, and I think we're already there. So if people use our EDK and a project has issued NFTs as digital assets on whatever chain, in our backend, we have integrated multiple wallets, multiple chains. So we could guarantee that those cars that are issued in an ecosystem outside of ours, that they are actually drivable assets or usable assets within our metaverse. But the issuer should be the one that does the adaptations and follows the guidelines of the EDK to make sure it actually works,
Whoa, that's a good point as well. My goodness, this is a great conversation. Dirk of Expectar, I really appreciate your honesty and your transparency in terms of what Expectar, the platform, is doing. And I really love that. And again, this goes a long way when you have a co-founders or C-suites. I know I always mention C-suites, but people that are legit part of 10 toes down, part of these brands or platforms in Web3 when they show up to spaces like this, when you get to hear what they talk and ask questions, and they are part of the conversation and dialogue. You know what it makes me feel? It makes me feel like, I have not really gone on the Expectar platform per se. You know, I've seen a lot of the posts and on the Discord and stuff like that. But just knowing that Dirk is in here and speaking and he's the CEO, it gives me this energy and feeling of like this closeness attached to the brand, to the platform. And even though I may not build there, even though there's a 50% chance of me buying, a piece of land for 888 expect our tokens and stuff like that, which I probably will, but there's this energetic feeling of like closeness. I don't know, I'm going there, guys, but I love it. And this is what it means when you show up for your brand. This is what it means when you show up for your community. I cannot stress that enough. I want
I should do stuff, I don't want to hijack your space. I will shut up. But we even giving feedback or doing a repost or just become friends and getting to know each other, that's already very important. I see, by the way, that we have one of our independent builders, digital architect Neosenic in here. I will shut up. I will pass you the mic. Keep listening. But if you are interested about more experience about people that are not paid by us, unrelated by us, or with us, but are actually using DDK, Neosenic is probably one of the interesting people that you can get on stage.
Oh, thanks for doing a shout out. I'm actually following Neosenic now. Don't ever shut up. I think the people here are really appreciating you. And with that said, I know, oh my God, I want to bring up one woman. Rallo came up. I've been throwing the mic at Webby Social. I just want to say something before we bring up one woman and Rallo. Rallo, I'm so glad you're here. I really am. He's doing like so many great things in the music space in Web3. Like it is insane the type of the artists that Rallo's doing, like huge all the way from NYC. You and Rex Gatling, is Rex still here? Need to get to know each other. Expect our Dirk, if you are there, I would love for you, I don't know why you can't. To me, you personally or your brand is your developer and our creator, the brand Expectar. I would love it. And I'm glad Webby Social is here. I was just thinking about this. I would love it if perhaps I don't know, can't Webby Social, can Expectar actually create? Sure, why not? Create a profile on Webby Social? Sure, right? Come on, you know what? Just sorry, guys, I'm kind of like bending the rules here. I'd love for you to come on and unmute your mic, Webby Social, if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Just give me 4 more minutes, and then I'll hop in and share a little bit of knowledge. But you can be a brand, you can be a creator, and I have some exciting news that I'll share about being a brand here in just a moment.
No way, we're getting alpha. Because I see Webby Social, and I know Expector is this, they're on Unity, they're virtual. No. They're a virtual world on Unreal Engine, and they're, I know, sorry, Expector, and they're creating, and I'm thinking, why can't Expector be on Webby Social? Why can't these brands be on Webby Social? So we'll give him 4 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, 3 minutes and 40 seconds now. But one woman, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you? You sound really excited. This is an incredible discussion today. One that, I'll be honest, I know virtually nothing about, but I am learning, I feel like I'm having it pounded into my forehead, third eye type stuff. But I did notice MetaMike has been consistently raising his hand, and I think he has something he'd like to add to this larger discussion.
Oh, thank you. I just saw his hand kind of up and then it went down. I did not see that. Thank you so much. Madam Mike, what were you going to add? And then we'll go to Rallo.
That's funny. Thanks, one woman. No, I was just, I guess, trying to put into the conversation, we're talking about, what platforms do you create on, and we're talking about Over and Spatial and Expector, and, the fact of, voxels and it being down and all these different things. And what I feel like I'm starting to feel need, it's like a mentality switch, right? Where you need to build these things, these assets, these objects on your platforms should be Unity and Unreal and Blender, because those platforms are not going anywhere, and there's never going to be problems with them, and nothing's ever going to happen to them, no matter what, basically, unless something better and bigger comes out. And the point is that at that point, now you're working with files like OBJs and GLBs, and like it's just like PNGs, so you can use them however you are. And the problem is that everybody looks at everything as like off and on and black and white, and you're a builder or you're a user. And like, where's the painters? Like, I know like not everybody's ready to build a house, but I'm pretty sure everybody, including a child, can pick up a paintbrush and paint a wall. Whether they're going to do a good job or there's streaks, or that's not even relevant, because it's like everybody's got their own stroke, right? So the point that I'm trying to get to is like, start considering like your own assets, because the real goal here would be to have our 3D version of a website, where no matter what, your website works and it's always there, and it might not have all the cool features as Expector or Spatial or OBR, and maybe you can't do the AR, and you can't do the little aspects that these platforms offer, but you can always still have a home or a place that you can share people that still represents or has these same objects that you're using in all the different metaverses, while they're flickering like lights, in the sky, right? Because they're like you said, they're airplanes in the air and they're working on the engine, and we're just trying to stay afloat, so they may or may not work. So what I encourage everybody to do is, and this is kind of what I've been trying to push from day one, but it seems so difficult to get, is like, everybody needs, forget about the NFTs and the assets and the digital assets, make your own object. You switch the conversation from asset to object. Object is a thing that's in Blender, that's on your file folder, it's not on the blockchain. It doesn't need anything special to get integrated into something that uses 3D software and objects, right? So what I've been always saying to everybody is, build a sign in 3D or a little building that has your brand. And now when I go to Spatial, I can press one button and the building's there. Or I could learn Unity and press a couple of buttons to put some lights and some things, and when you click it, then the thing happens and whatever, and now I have the Unity prefab. And then I could do the same thing in Unreal and put it in Expector, right? So now, even if you're not a builder, you still have this object, and if you want to play with it, you can be like, well, maybe I can just turn the brick from brick into this texture, and oh, that looks cool. And now you're starting to dabble in it. Like, you don't need to build the wall, just get someone else to build the block, and then you can paint it, or you could not, depending on. But the point is now you can open up Blender and look at your thing and have something there, rather than the like feeling of overwhelming. Oh, I can't use this. Where do I start? I don't know. Right?
Wow, great. I love that mentality and that mindset, that approach. That is amazing. I know one woman said she came onto the space and she says, "Oh, this is really a great, she's learning a lot. I'm learning a lot." Like, if it weren't for the speakers to come up and to share their insights and their thoughts and to have this conversation, this would not be the way it is right now. Thank you so much for that, Meta Mike. I really, really appreciate that. I brought up Songs of Eden up here because I wanted to talk to him, but I do want to do a shout out to Tam Poco. Tang, how are you? She is a crazy content creator on Decentraland and everywhere else. She also co-hosts a Friday space called what is it? Oh my God. Building the future. Thank you. Building the future. And we have are you ready to speak now, Webby?
Yeah, I can speak. And then just
we'll go to Wallow.
Also, another shout out to Tang Pogo. Tang, I will build you a dollhouse in spatial.io. No problem, anytime. And you can get inside Unity, and you've got people like Alter Alley, MetaMic, or any asset that you need. We got you. So don't worry on building. If you want to just extend your metaverse digital asset world into spatial, and you need like a builder, like I'm sure we can ground the troops and create you the baddest dollhouse in spatial, no charge. Like we'll take care of it for you.
I will be happy to paint you pictures, any pictures you want,
whatever you want.
Walls with art, just so we can have you in spatial tango. Come on, girl.
Come on, girl. That's a lot. I like to hear that.
That is amazing. Guys, before we hear more about Webby Social, look, Rallo, I know you're there and I want to hear from you, but I wanted to like insert like Webby. So Webby, can we say when Webby came on, when Webby came on, did you not notice a change in energy? Like from my hosting, yeah, laugh. But like honestly, that is so intimidating. He comes on with this, good morning, like what? Don't give me the CNN, CNBC, ABC. Yeah, exactly. That voice that resonates like he's been in this to win it forever. Please. But I do appreciate you. But my goodness, like I'm gonna put a filter when you come on, so you sound like Donald Duck. I will.
I gotta figure. I've been in a meeting all morning, so it's a little bit corporate. So I've got like my corporate my corporate filter on, but now I can kind of kick back and and just hang out with you guys. Carmen, great show, by the way. Great speaking. K-Bot nailed it. Really just been kind of listening in, and Spectro, as a CEO, man, it is, or anybody here that's building a brand in Web3 or blockchain or technology, it's hard. It's super hard. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy. There's this struggle of like learning, right? Improvising, getting users, building a community, learning new technology. There's so many things that like we have to learn every single day, and it's like, just try to take one step at a time. And like, yes, you'll have your days where you're like discouraged and you're like, man, I'm not doing enough, or someone else is doing it. But just keep taking one little step at a time, right, Carmen?
Yes, and I have to say, when I the first 2 or 3 building the future X spaces that I was able to join, and I would speak, and the platform was such a wonderful, welcoming and forgiving and compassionate platform that literally they kind of like help Eric, my creative owls, and Tampoco, which Eric is behind Webby, sorry, they really did a lot for me. So did Hexadize, so did Altered Alley, Metamike, K-Bot, Songs, everybody here, even the Xenu mainnets community, One Woman, Era, Virtual X, I see you down there, Honeycomb, did I say Hexadized? Yes. These people, this community that somehow I've surrounded myself with, they've really done a lot for me in terms of help motivate me and inspire me again to just like put myself out there. So I'm so glad you're here, Webby Social, and Tang Poco and K-Bot and Songs of Eden and Rallo and Metamike and One Woman and CNET's Moon. I see you. Oh my God, I see you in Virtual X and Era and Honeycomb and Hexadize and Wonderland. You guys are all here. You guys are all part of this. So whatever I'm doing, whether it's good or not, I'm sorry, but I'm saying that you guys are part of it, are part of like what I'm doing, and I appreciate that so much. I really appreciate that so much. Thank you. So Webby, are you gonna drop some alpha about brands and Webby Social?
Yeah, we can drop a few alphas, but also to you, thank you for also being a part of the community. It's like it's two sides of the coin here. It's like one, having a community, and then having someone that actually provides value, right? You've been consistent, and that's why it's easy for like-minded people to come in here, and you see that cross-pollination of like my community, your community, and that over and over again. So it's a two-sided of the tail. And for you, Carmen, I love how you're very authentic yourself. And I remember you came into our space and you talked about like storytelling, and you're like, I don't know how to storytell. And then you dropped a complete story and changed the whole space. I remember that day. So like you're a big contributor. Just want to add kudos to you. And you bring in up great topics, right? And you're talking about, trends right now, platforms, devices, AR, all different things that are going to be shaping the future. So it's like a perfect alignment. It's kind of like, where the heck were you the last like 2 years? How come we didn't connect before? But I'm happy that we're on this new trend heading into 2025. So kudos to you and everybody else that's here as well. And shout out some of the OGs, I think Meta Mike is like one of the first people I saw in spatial, like just creeping around, just hanging around, just popping in and out of space. And if I ever had any like questions, like somehow, some way he knew what the answer is or digital asset. So, I think your network is your net worth at times. And I think our net worth is growing within our community. But Webby Talk. So what's going on with Webby? Man, I'm super excited, as always, of like what we're building. If you guys been following the timeline, we're just every week, we're just having some new updates. Big milestone for us today. We hit over 200 beta users. So at this rate, by next year, we might probably hit over 1,000 users. So I think that's very exciting for us. And we're trying to figure out new revenue streams for us as a platform, but also for the creators. Right now, it's like a B2B. That means business to business. So if you're like a content creator, like you can create your profile. But 2 days ago, I got reached out by an agency. And they're like, hey, we're looking for live streamers. We're looking for people to kind of help like affiliate marketing and stuff like that. And they're like, do you know anywhere that we can do it? I'm like, yo, check out Webby Social, right? And then they went on the Webby, they checked out the filter, and they're like, oh, okay, here's all the live streamers, here's all the X-Space hosts and so forth. So now we're going to be adding more like a B2C. So now businesses can actually go up there and post their job recs. Like, hey, we're looking for a Metaverse builder, right? Or, hey, we're looking for a live streamer or somebody that can do like affiliated marketing or put an ad in your Metaverse, something like that. And then creators can start, making some money and monetizing based off of that. And you just have to set up their Webby profile. So that's very exciting. That's coming in the works. And then the other part, when it comes to Webby is, our blockchain technology that we're trying to add. We're slowly trying to roll it in there right now with our tipping. So just letting you know, there's some more Web3 features that are coming. So just be patient as we're building those things. We've got creator badges that are rolling out. So as you're building on Webby, you're engaging, you're going to be able to just get rewarded. So we're going to kind of gamify the application. So, you can get some feedback. And then when you redeem your creative points, it's going to be merch. We're just going to be giving away Webby Social merch, hoodies, so you feel a part of the brand as you're innovating and creating. We don't want to, the money part we'll talk about here, how we're going to reward our users, but that's one thing for the creator badges that are going to be rolling out. And then the last thing is our challenges. We're thinking about doing a handful of challenges for creators, metaverse builders, digital artists. The next one we're going to be doing is this Friday. It's a fashion AI challenge. So if you're a digital artist, content creator, if you work in Midjourney, Gronk, whatever you create, what we're going to be doing is doing a contest on Webby where you're going to be able to apply, submit your artwork completely free. The top 4 or get highlighted on the Webby Art Showcase page. Number 1 will get a $50 gift card on Amazon. And then also get a verification badge on Webby as well too. So we're just trying to figure out activists for content creators, and then hopefully we can go over to the metaverse and start figuring out how we can create like a digital asset contest or a metaverse contest and start integrating those things. So a lot of things are in the works. I am tired. I am sleepless working on these things, and putting those things is incredible, but better things are going to be happening too with also our brand with Building the Future that we've got season 2 rolling out.
Wow. You know what? I'm so excited that that an agency reached out, because weren't you excited? Because this is the thing. And now when you said an agency reached out looking for live streamers, looking for this, I'm like, oh my God, there we go. I missed it. And this is why you should never sleep on Web3. You need to really, honestly, things are moving so fast. People like Webby Social, Expector, Songs of Eden, Rallo, MetaMike, Altered Alley, K-Bot, One Woman, Tang Poco, Era X Labs, Artist Jody, Hey Artist Jody, Rex Gatling, everybody here, Virtual X, Drano, everybody here shows up, and they are literally platforms of opportunity. They really are. And they're you can connect with them. They have something to offer you, no strings attached. And if you don't jump on it, if you don't see that door of opportunity, it's not like you missed it, but maybe you did. But the fact that now an agency is looking at Webby Social, the Web3 hub for content creators, developers, and now brands, and like pretty much everything, guys. This is fantastic for content creators and devs. Can you imagine? That's exciting.
It's a big win, and it's also a big win for like the small creators, like the nano creators. We were just talking about this. People that have like 1,000 to 5,000, 10,000 to under 10,000. Like, you've got like the mega influence tiers that those are like 0.05% of like the million, and those are the ones that are making a lot of monetization money, right? But the nano creators are starting to make a splash. Now brands are reaching out to small creators or small accounts and start reaching out to them because they have a smaller target audience. And one of the things we were talking about is that once you get to like 10,000, some way, somehow, these platforms, these algorithms don't allow you to see all 10,000 people to see your artwork. But if you're a small creator that are building, your content's going to be seen more, and you're going to have more of a trusted audience when you're creating. So focusing on the nano and the smaller creators is something that like Webby is going to be really honing in and building like these small creators and so forth, and building up those creators that are in these smaller tiers as we move forward. And yes, we can accommodate the mega, content creator influencers, but for us, it's like let's focus on building our platform of like of creators that are building, innovating, that need to get highlighted or shouted out, and you are now in handling the algorithm, because as you post, it gets seen on the timeline. We're not hiding things from you and so forth. So it's really, really exciting times for any platform. But as always, there's road challenges, but the community is what's like giving us feedback. Hey, creative, this sucks. Like, hey, we want to see this. Hey, it needs to be better on mobile and so forth. So we're just, taking our punches and then, keep over communicating with our community of like how we're building it, how we're putting it together.
Oh my God, I love that. Congratulations for your efforts, really, for the Webby Social team. Congratulations. And you know what? I'm a nano. I'm going to wear that nano badge loud and proud. Nano. What the heck?
I'm with it. I like, and come to think about it, for my Creative Owls account, I feel like I would want to be under 10,000 again, because once you get to 10,000, it's like a whole different tier. The way the algorithm works is kind of crazy.
Isn't that interesting? I'm still have to reach that. I feel like, you know what? This is funny, Webby Social. It's like the more it's funny. It's hella funny. The more I share of myself, the more followers I lose. And I'm laughing because like I'm getting there. I reached the 9K mark, and now it's like 9, I don't know what. And then I'm like, oh, I'm 980, or I don't know, 990, 997. And then I post a video of my face doing what I'm doing, and I lose 10 followers. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm not for you. I'm okay with that. And if I didn't have a healthy community like I do, surrounded by all of you guys right here, I probably would just shut down and cry. Not cry, but I would just shut down and go back into my digital depression. But because I am in spaces like Building the Future, and I listen to you and Tang, and I see Rallo just kicking it, and I see Songs of Eden just pumping his community. I see K-Bot doing his thing. I see Meta Mike, Altered Alley, One Woman, Era, everybody, artist Jody posting like every day, 365 days of art, and Rex Gatling doing so much. Then I'm like, then why am I gonna give up? I have to say this, but it's hilarious. Like every time I post something personal, I lose followers. And I get it, because maybe they thought I was this tech XR guru, but I'm not. And they go, what you doing posting about her dog? I don't like this. That's totally fine. I just had to share that. That's hilarious. But maybe I just want to stay under 10K. Isn't that crazy? No, universe. I don't want to manifest that. It is what it is. So it is 17 minutes past the hour. Everyone there on Metaverse Radio, I do want to say that we still have another, I'm so thankful for Metaverse Radio. They're giving me a 2-hour spot. But since we passed the hour, I do want to remind everyone listening on Metaverse Radio and anywhere else that this program's content does not necessarily represent the views of Metaverse Radio and is for entertainment only. It is not legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. The host, guest speakers, artists, and other collaborators may have personal or financial interest in the subjects they discuss. So please critically assess the information presented. Not all content is appropriate for all ages, and listener discretion is advised. I really appreciate everyone's time here. Rallo, Songs of Eden, One Woman. One Woman, did you come up just to say that, hey, Meta Mike's his hand has been up, or did you really want to also share something?
Well, actually, I would like to share something, and I don't. I think it goes with everything that people have been talking, because all of you, every last one of you in here is pursuing an avenue, a specific avenue of how you express yourself, how you want to be part of this larger adventure that we're calling Web3, and moving out into this unknown, because that's what we're moving into. It is unknown. But the big thing that, and it struck me just yesterday when I was in another group, and our topic was consistency. And the things that makes each of you successful is your consistency. And I don't mean that you're doing exactly the same thing over and over. I'm not talking about repetitiveness. I'm talking about consistent presence. You're always working. You're always moving forward. You're always exploring. You're always, expect. You talked about, you sold out everything. You retired at 40, and within 3 hours you were bored stiff, and you took the step forward and started exploring something totally new. And look at where you are, and look at the people you are influencing. But that is consistency. And if I want to applaud all of you, it's that I see that in you, and your consistency helps me maintain my consistency. So we're supporting each other in that way. And it's a way that we don't often think about or talk about. But I think it's something we need to recognize, because it's without that consistency, none of us would be here.
Well, and it's very hard to be consistent without support of people like the people that are in here. And it's very hard, and I think that I can speak for everybody. And even though we are a company, and we're not a non-for-profit, however, I can be very clear, we didn't make any profit. We were able to self-sustain, which is also already a big achievement. I think that most of the people in here, and lots of other people that we know, aren't doing this for the money. And there is a big contrast between the crypto bros and the actual builders. I think that the builders are crucial, and I think you guys and us as well are doing this out of passion. And then most people even, are doing this because they want to do it. And if they will able to make money with it, well, that's a nice extra. But I think that even if you wouldn't make any money, you would still be doing what you're doing now.
Absolutely. I'm an artist. I paint. In the physical world, I paint in oils on canvas, or actually anything I can put paint on. But I also am a mobile artist. I work on my iPad, and I've worked with a woman for 11 years who's in Finland, and developed a series of apps that literally turn my iPad into a blank canvas. I can actually paint and draw and not have to use AI or generated images. I can create original work. And to me, that's exciting. That's my passion. I would do it whether I get paid or not. It is nice when I do sell a painting. I'll be honest, because oil paints are very, very expensive. But, I can make my living this way. I'm lucky. But it takes consistency. It keeps believing in yourself and moving forward, and not being afraid of rejection and people saying, no, you can't do it, because you're going to do it anyway. Whether you get paid or not, you're going to do it. And eventually you start getting paid in one way or another.
Wow. I love that you brought up the consistency part. That is so important. And I feel I see that, because when I used to be on, well, when it was Twitter, I still call it Twitter, when it was Twitter, I would be on every day, and you get followers and you get people engaging with you. And then I was gone for years. And then I'd pop in for maybe a couple of days and I'd be gone for months. So when you don't show up consistently, yeah, it's exactly what you said. I'm so glad you brought that up, one woman, and I'm so glad Expector is here. Yeah, Webby Social, you dropped a lot of alpha, and I'm really happy and proud of what you're doing. Thank you again for doing this for the community. I know we're all doing this for each other, but the fact that Eric's building out Eric and his team it could be just Eric and Eric and Eric and Eric. I don't know what his team is. I'm just calling it a team. Eric and the Webby Social team, the fact that they're building out a hub to connect with content creators of all kinds, and developers, and now brands and agencies. I think that is really, really empowering. So if you do not have a profile or an account on Webby Social, please don't be like me and get left in the dust and sit on it. Really don't, because you definitely will be missing opportunities. Things are happening super fast in the Web3 space, and you want to be part at least of that list when people are looking. And you don't have to have 1 million followers or 500,000 or pay for, because you know what? Accounts are now catching on. And I love that. Nano, wear that loud and proud, because it's not about the numbers, guys. It's about what you bring and what you resonate with and what resonates with you. Thank you so much for bringing that up, one woman, that whole consistency thing. So Rallo, oh my goodness, the music district all the way from NYC, and like spreading music all over Web3 and the metaverse. Thank you so much for your patience.
How are you, family? Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here with all you guys. Special shout out to my boy Meta Mike, Music District's world builder. I love that kid. He's just he's a world builder. And special shout out to Spectra, because he's been bringing a lot of his creation, his love into that new platform, which is he's been showing me along the way. Absolutely amazing. I would definitely love, to add to that creation process, because I'm not a world builder, right? I never was. It's not something that I'm interested in doing, but there is, when I speak to Mike on the daily, it's creating sort of like that vision and how and what we're doing to really represent what I think interoperability means. I mean, for me, when you talk about these different platforms like Decentraland, Spatial, Spectra, Omniverse, and so on and so forth, that's just essentially one vertical. That's the virtual platform vertical. But yet there's really very little interoperability between this one vertical, right? Where and in a very similar way with TV and radio and smart devices, these different verticals across platforms and devices are very synonymous of each other. So there's the true interoperability between each of these verticals is limited. And so a lot of what we are doing as far as like a music broadcast network and a music discovery channel. And you got to think of it like the community support of PBS with the cultural buzz of MTV, right? And essentially the only thing from the jump, and I still feel this way, is a dedicated broadcast that extends across these different verticals, across different platforms. So, this is the community. This is our team. This is our squad right here. When you're in that gym class and you get a bunch of people on your team, we look around, and this is who our team is right here. Meta Mike, Alta Ali, Juan, Spec, Web. Meta Rides, Era, X Labs, Era. And we're all here to support each other, and you just want constant success for each other. And the way to do that, and sort of like what I've been doing, is at the same time, it's creating value, it's creating awareness to the creations, whether it's a world builder, an artist, or even a music community. So it's essentially a Web3 Jumbotron broadcasting across these platforms and devices that are showcasing world builders as much as it's showcasing artists, as much as it's showcasing these music communities like Pigeons of New York and Chopped Cheese and things like that. So we're trying to bring, I think my role in all of this in Web3 is one, I think understanding what you do and how you do it, to do it to the best of your abilities, the best thing that you could do to add to the value and sort of evolution of Web3, and to bring that attention, expand reach of these creatives to promote this true interoperability through Web3 broadcasting is sort of where I'm coming from. But I got to say, it's like, consistency, that is, when we talked about that, I think that is something that a lot of people don't get to that consistency part. A lot of people drive for an idea, the creating of an idea, the building up of that idea, trying to find their what is it? Their dharma, not their karma, their dharma, right? But then once you find it, it is essentially that consistency, and it will take off. As I've been doing this 2 years, and we're up 575% in viewership. But it's, generally smaller numbers, but again, expanded over our network of partners. So, for example, shout out to Metaverse Radio. They are our smart device partner, right? So they're on, Alexa, Google, Siri, things like that. We have Vita TV. Vita TV and Buy over there, they're our virtual partners. So essentially, they're taking our broadcast and they're embedding them inside of virtual worlds, all virtual worlds. So whether it be Decentraland, Spatial, Omniverse.
Okay, so for those of you out there on Metaverse Radio, we are, it is not the 2-hour market. What am I saying? Let's continue.
That wearable broadcasting piece, so people could experience the feed inside of these worlds. So Vita TV is that. IMU TV, our partner that does all the distribution on Fire TV, Amazon, things like that. So we're constantly expanding that reach, as much as we can. And like world builders who spend a lot of time building, I'm out trying to create these relationships to expand the networks, to bring it, collectively back to all of us here, so we can promote all the creations that we're doing. So it's a really exciting time. And like you said, there's the amount of work here. It's like, if you don't love it, it's just never going to work. I had said it on one of my latest spotlights with Nessie the Rilla. If there's a very fine line between life and work. And I feel like when you could somehow enjoy what you do day in and day out, to get up out of bed and to feel truly excited about what it is that you're doing, to which is you've lived. And I feel like that now, and I'm extremely happy and grateful for it. And, to be able to pioneer this new space like this with all of you is just a complete pleasure.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for that and for sharing that. You've got so much energy, and I see you. You've got so much passion. You really do love what you do. And that really, really shows. And your growth is just going to be phenomenal. And it has ever since you joined Metaverse Radio as well. Metaverse Radio has just given you such a platform. Not you, because I know you always say it's not about you. You're the kind of person that you take on an artist, a musician, and you literally want to share their works and love and art with the world. I know this month's spotlight it's Nessie the Rilla, right? That you just mentioned that.
Yes, correct. And and part of that partnership that we do, right? Like those artist spotlights, if you knew how much time each one of those took. And all I do one a month. And my goal at the beginning of the month was just to do one a month. And Nessie was number 11. And it's a tremendous amount of work. And the content is original and it's creative, and they like you, and I appreciate you saying that so very much. Those kind words. It's that content, that energy, that love that I put into this content that I want to drive to my partner's platform. So, for example, this weekend, if you wanted to watch Artist Spotlight, the only way to watch it, right, for the first time ever, would be to go download IMU TV on your Roku or Fire TV. It wasn't available on Spotify. It wasn't available on YouTube. And then on Monday, if you missed that, then it gets launched off in Metaverse Radio. And now on Wednesday, we're going to be doing a virtual event with Vita TV inside of Decentraland. And then on the 18th, it gets dropped on Spotify. And then on the 20th, we're going to do a live feed on X. So we give all our partners the ability to leverage the content and the love that I'm putting into this stuff to help them grow just the same.
Whoa, I'm exhausted. I cannot believe you do all that. And it's just you. I know it's just you. That is insane.
Well,
Well,
I mean, like editing and all that. Yes, and help, please. But yeah, I mean, at this point, like, I'm trying to get some seed money. I am talking to a couple of venture capitalists, but the reality of that is you need key performance indicators, and without those indicators, it's just very hard, period. It's no bullshit, no cap. Like it's you gotta be so tight in your numbers, right? And to demonstrate the opportunity that alone, you're not going to be able to do it. You need a community, right? And so, like I was, it's very important to figure out and to understand that a lot of what record labels were have now been replaced with fandom, with the community.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
So supporters across all these communities have replaced traditional record labels by acting as direct community-based funding sources for not only artists, but for Web3 music projects. So the support through engagement is what is truly pioneering the future of Web3 music and artist, independence. It's not, I'm providing the platform, but it's going to be a level of that engagement that is really going to send Web3 and Web3 music into the next realm. So engagement is everything. So I appreciate all that for everybody, that everybody does that, sharing, commenting, things like that. It helps. It really does.
No, it really, really does. So when you're talking about key like indicators, oh, I forgot that term. I didn't forget it. It's my brain. I was just, what were we gonna say? What did you say again?
KPIs, key performance indicators?
Yes, key performance indicators. Could be using this wrong, but you know what I love about hosting spaces? I get anxiety, okay? I'm just going to say every night I can't sleep and I get all anxious and I'm like, why am I even doing this? Oh my God. Like, what if I don't show up? Because I didn't a couple of times, I think in the summer, I didn't have Tech Talk Tuesdays. I just like, no, I'm not going to show up. But then I said, I think end of August and September, I started like kicking it up, especially when when I attended one of the Building the Future with My Creative Owls and Tang Poco. Somebody also mentioned consistency. And today, I did not want to do a Tech Talk Tuesday. I was like, anyway, but you know what? You know why I did? It is consistency, but I literally envisioned all the people's faces that always show up on the spaces. And that kind of made me feel like, oh, well, I always see K-Bot, Altered Alley, MetaMike. I always see like Conrad, like Yura, sometimes artist Jody, because I know she's really busy. I see some of the Zenest community, and I'm like, I see one woman and I'm like, oh my God, like, what if I don't want to let them down? Oh, not that I'm letting you guys down, but the fact that these key indicators, whatever indicators, sorry, I'm not so good with so much words in the morning.
Okay, they're performance indicators, but you got to be careful with your mental health on that, right?
Yes.
Like, consistency doesn't mean being in a space every fucking day. You know what I mean? Like, it's bananas,
Yeah.
Like, for somebody like me, like with Artist Spotlight, I do that once a month. That's it. I've never held this space. I've never really shilled any of my tokens or coins, nothing. But you got to do what's right for you. And your mental health is, and I said this the other day, music without space is just an annoying sound. And so you got to give yourself space, even in the creation of what it is that you're building, because it won't resonate, in a similar frequency. You got to give and if don't do it for yourself, do it for the project to which you're dedicated to. So mental health is tremendously important. And, getting a Pomodoro, I think it's called a Pomodoro timer or whatever, get up, stretch, go work out, just leave it, because as you're doing what we're all doing, nobody else is really doing it. It's not like there's a race, which is on the other side of pioneering where someone's going to come in and steal our shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're pioneering it. So it's going to grow as much as energy you put into it, and that is a tremendous responsibility too. But you also know that without that mental health, it's not going to turn into much or you're going to burn out. So always take that space and time to hear that song, within your own project.
Oh my God. Wise words, Rallo. Wise words. I'm going to bring up Gen Ops. Thank you for joining, Gen Ops. But before I do, I have Webby Social. High five, Webby Social.
Yeah, high five to that. I feel like K-Bot and Rabo are like long lost brothers. Like I'm just putting the two photos together right now. It's you guys are long lost brothers. Consistency is one thing, but I think habits is a whole different thing, right? Habits can keep you your mental health going. It can keep your spaces going. And when you're trying to build a brand, we always talk about building trust, and trust comes from consistency, and then habits are the ones that build consistency. So like you've got good habits, Digital Femina, like you walked your dog, you water your plants, you hopped on your computer, you're now in a habit of having spaces weekly. And now your audience is also in a habit to understanding your brand of how you're going to come out. So just doubling down on that conversation on that with that, but tying habits into it, I think it plays a big important role into being successful.
Wow. Yeah, that's a huge component as well. Habits, being consistent, mental health, but also incorporating really healthy habits that work for you. Thank you so much. And you do read my posts. You do know I have a dog, and you do know I water my plants every Friday. I like
that. The dog post, because the dog post lets me know you're authentic. It's like I have that connection with you. It's like, hey, I also have a dog, so I can connect with you. So the people that unfollow you, it's better to have 5 real followers instead of 100 fake followers, right? So keep doing your thing. We do recognize it, and keep walking your little dog with his awesome haircut.
That's funny. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And I'm so glad you water your plants, because I water my plants. I just watered my plants yesterday. I've never thought of taking a photo or anything of me watering them and sharing it. But people, I water my plants. I try not to let them die. Okay. But also, I wanted to tell you, I got my lenses for my glasses, and they are in, and I am using my glasses, and I love them.
Ooh, I love that. I'm so glad that you got your lenses for your glasses. And what glasses are they for those who don't know?
Oh, what do you call those? REAL or something like that? X-Real.
Oh, you're being funny. I was like, don't do that. Don't do that with that brand.
I'm scaring you. No, okay. Just having some fun.
I love that. Let's talk about the plants, and we still got to get together so we can do the read of K-Bot's book.
Yes, I keep waiting for you. We're just so damn busy. Excuse my language, people. I like to swear once in a while. I'm also human. I'm not a bot. But yeah, we have to get together and read and discuss K-Bot's book, because it is really good. It really is a very good book. You can get it on Amazon, everyone, and go for it. Go for it. If you want just that, and give it to your friends for Christmas who do not understand cryptocurrency, any of the business aspects that we are constantly inundated with here in Web 2 and Web 3. Especially Web 3. For those who are novices, get it for them. It will give them the good foundation. And no, I'm not getting paid to say this.
Thanks, one woman.
It's called Building Wealth with Blockchain.
Yeah.
It's a conversation path to the Metaverse. Yeah, so I think, is that one? K-Bot, do you have 1 or 2 books out right now?
Can everyone hear me? I'm speaking from my desktop.
Yep.
You know what you guys are amazing, because in real life, it is so hard to get people to pay attention to this industry whatsoever. I think a lot of people in real life are overwhelmed by this technology. So I appreciate that. I'm arguing with friends and family about this, even Bitcoin. I'm like, hey, Bitcoin's at almost 90,000. Don't you want to buy like $20 of this asset? Oh, I don't want to talk about it. So we are actually experiencing amazing utility with community here, but also anti-intellectual energy where people don't want to learn. And I find that fascinating. It's really amazing that Bitcoin and all that we're talking about, we're here together every day, fighting this fight, building. and people are still pushing hard against it. But yeah, you can get the book, or you can contact me for free. I'll get it if you choose a PDF. But I'm actually working on a coloring book. That's how far down the rabbit hole we've gone. It's an NFT coloring book for kids, an ABC for my robot puppet show, to somehow introduce children to blockchain, because the adults seem to be just too busy. And I get it. They're too busy to actually wrap their head around it. And maybe the book is too much. It's 17 chapters of actually easy to understand content about all of this world. But it's almost like telling people to go to college. You know, it's a college course, so I will be presenting this to universities. But onboarding people is really saying, hey, would you like to go to college and learn about computer science and financial literacy? I mean, that's basically what we're saying to people. And they don't want to do it. But I appreciate you, One Woman and Digital Film, Carmen, everyone here. Let's go. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And you know what, Webby Social, thanks for remembering the actual title of the book, because I was like scrambling. Oh my God, what's the title? What's the title? Yeah, Eric. Thanks, Eric. Oh, I think he dropped, but that's fine. I'm glad he did come and mention that. Okay. I do want to bring up Jen Ops, a musician, hip hop and mixed media artist, motion design, FX via art and cinematography. Hello. And I know we've been following each other for a while now. Thank you so much for, actually, you followed me, or did I just follow you? I can't remember, but I know we're following each other now. How are you? You have the mic.
Yeah, I heard you speak before and I followed you. I want to say what's up to you, Carmen, and peace up to all the other speakers and the listeners in the balcony up on top. Do you host predominant reality-based spaces?
Oh, that's, what do you mean? What do you mean reality-based? Like,
well, you know, between like VR, MR, XR.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So yes, we do. So every Tuesdays I host a Tech Talk Tuesday where we do talk about different technologies. I don't know if Rex Gatling is still here, but every third Tuesday of the month, we will have a special dedicated Tech Talk Tuesdays to XR. So next Tuesday, will be just totally dedicated to XR.
Okay, sweet. Y'all got my heart already there.
Oh, that's perfect. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm predominantly, my flagship is I'm a hip hop MC and a producer, and I'm also into the recording arts, pre-production, post-production, mixing and mastering. But we're also performers. I have a small hip hop fellowship here in Northwest Indiana. We were originally going by Who's Revolution. We've been on a duck down and a reload phase for the last 2 years. It's always just been me, a co-MC of mine, and our turntable is DJ Spartacus, just a 3-man crew. But we kind of ran that into the ground. We made good money, as independents, and we kind of wanted something more. During the last 3 years of our tenure in that iteration of that fellowship, I kind of gave the booking duties over to my co-MC Seizure to mount shows for us. That was usually my task. But he kind of pivoted a bit different in terms of the kind of shows we were mounting. He's a muralist. Him and his wife are muralists. They're graffiti artists. Even though they're in their younger 30s, they still have a knack for freight art and stuff like that, scouting train yards and, bombing on trains and stuff like that. But they also do professional work. No vandalism and nothing, like that. They're muralists full time. And what he did was he would mount art galleries that were fused with hip hop sets. So he would mount a set and book 4 other hip hop acts to perform with us. But he would also call up all of his muralist friends of his that do arts and crafts and hand goods and stuff like that, hand painted art, digital prints, all that stuff. So everybody could come out to these shows and make some money with us. We did that for about a good 3.5 years. And we decided we wanted to take a break to figure out what to do. He was also in a hardcore band, so he's a bass player, and he had a side project that was a hardcore band. They were on an independent label in New York. Their band disbanded. They went on a permanent hiatus after their drummer had OD'd on some hardcore drugs that he was on. And he brought up the idea about just shutting down Who's Revolution as a hip hop fellowship and coming back as a full-time hip hop band. He's going to assume bass duties. His best friend Victor, that played guitar in the side project they were in, he's coming in as a studio guitarist, but also live performance. So we're looking for a drummer. I think we locked one in last weekend. We still have a little more rehearsal to do with the guy, but I think we have the band part. But we're going to create music as a band in the studio with everybody's interest vested into it. So that's going to be new. Traditionally, all the production was done on my end. The recording was done on my end. Now I get to kind of delegate all of this and share the pie with everybody else on a music tip. But while we're doing that, I have some friends of mine in the Czech Republic that are helping me get a better understanding of the type of experiences I want to throw that are bigger than just a hip hop set or an art gallery set. I want to start introducing projection mapping into our hip hop sets. When you come to see a set, there's usually 3 walls around us as performers. We got a wall behind us and 2 walls on either side of us. And I'm working right now to rehearse projection mapping sets that would allow our music sets to have interactive attributes to it. The 3 walls around us, I'm working it out so that we have a seamless graphics presentation. I'm trying to leverage being a motion graphics designer. I got into motion graphics mostly to help give us a better marketing, to self-market ourselves better. We can create our own video promotion and stuff like that, video flyers. That helps us to build rapport with the venues that we perform at, helps us to build rapport with the artists that we book on our shows, whether we know them or not. So we've been able to leverage motion graphics and animation and all that stuff in terms of marketing ourselves on a self-tip. But I wanted to take that up, a step further and leverage that towards, motion graphics, performance art. And thus, the projection mapping thing, using 3 projectors to light up 3 walls as a one seamless graphic presentation where, like if we're rhyming, we could have lyrics pop up and immersive graphics and stuff, something that actually befits our set, that we can hit play on it and it all works on an automated process. And the only thing you hear is our music and our vocals through our wireless mics. On top of that, I've been dabbling into augmented reality, and I've been using programs like Metaspark Studio, Adobe Aero, and trying to figure out different use cases for augmented reality experiences and how we can get that into our sets somehow. Maybe not so much the performance aspect, but to have these sets be experience-based events, where projection mapping is one thing to back up us as performers, but then to have the art gallery aspect that Seizure was doing for the last 3.5 years that we performed, was to take his art gallery ambitions a step further. In traditional art galleries that we frequent around the Chicago metro and around Northwest Indiana, traditional artwork is what it is. They either have 3D modeled properties to them, and I mean physical artwork, or there's digital prints or digital posters and stuff like that. All the artwork looks great. Everywhere you look, there's artwork everywhere. But my vision is to have traditional artwork to have augmented reality properties, via QR code, where all the artwork will stand out, in its traditional form. Zap that QR code, and now every piece of artwork has, either animation properties or 3D modeling properties, music properties, or maybe all of the above. So that's kind of like an extra attribute that we're trying to forge into this new art gallery, an art gallery that is fused with hip hop performance, motion graphics performance, but also, you know, augmented reality experiences all under one roof. So I've been dabbling into like augmented reality, mixed reality, and some aspects of extended reality. VR is kind of a miss for me because I'm not always sure. Maybe I just don't have the thought process, or I haven't had anybody very educated in that to help me understand use cases for VR. But I'm very intrigued by the metaverse in terms of virtual art galleries. Those are always intriguing for me when I see these things without the VR, all that, you know, just seeing people display and exhibit use cases in the metaverse for virtual art galleries. That's always, you know, something I'm looking into, you know, towards the future. Maybe that might be an extra attribute later in the future. But for right now, our overall coverage is to merge our hip hop fellowship and our performance and turn that all into motion graphics performance art mixed with projection mapping, mixed with augmented reality, you know, through the artwork in our art gallery. And just trying to do something nobody in the hip hop genre is doing anywhere in the world. Kind of tying in some inspiration from like studios in France, like AC3 Studios in France. They were like our original inspiration for the projection mapping aspect of things. But that's kind of what we're into. So my jumping on the mic was more like a call to action to anybody that hears this. If there's anybody that's interested in what we're trying to do, I'm all ears for ideas. If people are willing to share ideas, I'm always one that loves to share info. I don't like to hoard information from people. If I can share information with people when it comes to like motion graphics and animation or music production, or you know, I'm also a cinematographer. I'm a photographer. I just don't do those things for business. I do those things to like to present pure flex. It's just pure flex. It was something that I used to do more like for necessity and not necessarily for a love, because hip hop's very saturated. As we all know, globally, it's very saturated, especially in the United States. Everybody's rapping, everybody's producing, everybody's recording somebody out of their basement. So the ways that we can help to stand out for visibility's sake is to create experiences. You know, we were more like the original inspiration to get into these kinds of experiences in a hip hop setting. There's a motion graphics performance arts group called ENRA. They're based in Japan, ENRA. If anybody wants to check them out, they're incredible. They do projection mapping, but they do it on one wall, the wall that's immediately behind them. But what they're doing is that they interact with the motion design that's happening, that's projected onto this wall behind them. Like they'll have like two people on the stage, and like, you know, the chick on one side of the stage will like push this motion graphics circle over to the other guy, and he'll kick it to her, and you know, it's like super syncopated, and there's like no room for error because it's very like choreographed, and your positioning has to be just right. So it's like militant as fuck when you see like these people and how tight and syncopated they are with this whole thing. They're interacting with the motion graphics in terms of motion graphics performance art, whereas with us, we're not interacting with the motion graphics that happens around us. The motion graphics interacts with our music set, you know. So it's kind of like a flip to what they were doing, but to complement what, you know, the inspiration that they gave us. So that's pretty much us in a nutshell. If, like I said, if there's anybody out there that's willing to lend use cases or ideas, or, you know, any tidbits of information or software to use, you know, I'm only skilled at Metaspark Studio and Adobe Aero, but I love to trade information as well for, you know, anything that I'm skilled at. You know, I'm still kind of like budding in terms of AR, XR, and mixed reality.
Wow, I am so glad you joined. This is definitely the community or the space to share your story. Thank you so much for coming up and sharing your story. I know people are itching here. People are itching to talk to you, to say, hey, I can help. This is what you do. This is what you do. Like I see Altered Alley, I see One Woman. I know that definitely please connect with Altered Alley, One Woman, Era X Labs, Meta Mike. There's Jody down there, K-Bot, virtual, like pretty much a lot of the people here that I've mentioned. I know Rex Gatling isn't here, but he is also a XR developer for multi VR headsets and AR headsets. It's incredible. But I'm so glad you are here. Definitely, that story of yours, it was so thorough that people here are able to go, okay, this is where this guy is from. This is where he wants to go. This is what he's doing, and this is how he can move on from the future. I know Altered Alley, you're like itching there. What did you want to say?
Yeah, just everything you were saying, man. I'm very in line with. We actually just did a little AR hip hop performance a couple weeks ago using this over the reality platform. So if you guys would like to try and do some short sets on there, I would love to accommodate that. And also, I do a lot on spatial with hip hop, and I would also love to accommodate what you're doing there. So yeah, I think we already follow each other, man. But let's definitely connect.
Yeah, definitely. I see a lot of familiar faces in here. I wasn't sure what proximity everybody has to, those reality based experiences. But I'm all ears, and I'm a great listener, and I don't pussyfoot on work. I execute. I move really fast. I'm very resourceful as well. The rest of my fellowship all have full-time jobs. I work for myself. It ain't all that, trust me, but I won't go back to a W-2 based job unless it's something I absolutely love to do. And I figure working for me and doing what I love to do for myself and for my fellowship preserves my mental health over everything. I know you guys were discussing mental health. I kind of have to go at it this way.
So for those of you out there on Metaverse Radio, we are closing soon. I do want to say that this program's content does not necessarily represent the views of Metaverse Radio and is for entertainment only. It is not legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. The host, guest speakers, artists, and other collaborators may have personal or financial interests in the subjects they discuss. So please critically assess the information presented. Not all content is appropriate for all ages. Listener discretion is advised. Thank you so much for that, Gen Ops. I'm just shouting out to the Metaverse Radio people. The broadcast on Metaverse Radio has ended, and if it's still on, thank you so much for listening. We'll be back on next Tuesday with the special edition extended reality XR space with Rex Gatling and Hexadize, and perhaps another XR celebrity, or I wouldn't call him celebrity. But anyway, thank you so much for listening on Metaverse Radio. All right. So please connect. If you guys are already following each other, Gen Ops and Altered Alley, do connect also with One Woman, Era, Metamite, K-Bot, Artist Jody. It's like everybody's really here. Really. One Woman, you were going to share something.
I got me really excited because you're moving the direction that in part the way I want to go with my artwork. Since being in the metaverse and spatial, I've really gotten into and with my new headset that I just got, I'm actually using my VR headset to learn to paint in three-dimensional painting. But my ultimate goal is, I'm an abstract artist, is to have my paintings actually to be three-dimensional objects, worlds. I want them to be worlds that people literally walk into and explore and get lost in and find a way around and experience a totally different way of viewing existence and being. So, yeah, whoa. But to achieve this, I am having to learn Unity. I'm learning to use Blender and C# and you name it. And it's people that are in here with all their experience that is really helping me to continue on. Because it gets really frustrating sometimes. There's all this new stuff I have to learn, and all of you make it kind of bolster me up, whether you know it or not. So, and I keep moving forward. But please follow me. I'm following you now. I want to keep up with what you're doing. I do have at the moment in virtual reality, I have 6 of my paintings are present in being shown right in front of the art museum in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm in New Hampshire, and my art is being shown in reality where people can walk around, explore it. There in Argentina as well as in Dubai. So virtual reality is definitely a way to go. My God, in 2014, I had some of my artwork blown up on a 30-foot wall in Naples, Italy, behind a band, and they were using my artwork and some other artists' work to vibrating in tune with the band. So what you're going for is just an incredible experience for the viewer, for the person who's going to experience your music and your vision. Keep at it. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. Just keep moving forward, kid.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
That's great. Altered Alley.
I was gonna say to one woman, it would be super cool if you took a few of your paintings, set them up on a table, almost like in a box shape or whatever, and do a 3D scan and then put that into spatial. I've done something similar to that where I painted just a bunch of boxes and created a little world and scanned it, and it works pretty darn well. So it's it definitely learned Unity and Blender and all that good stuff. But within a couple hours, you could put together a world that's actually your paintings, and then hang your paintings inside of that place. And if you need any help with that, I would love to help with that. I think that'd be super cool.
That would be great, Allie. I mean, for people who don't know this, I remember the very first time I was in the very first spatial of Allie's, and it was called Rainbow Mountain. Now that's going back a ways. And I remember climbing this mountain and just exploring. That's all it was. But it was one of the most wonderful experiences I had up to that point. And now, I mean, any of his spaces are, to put it absolutely mildly, an experience. Oh my God. You've got to go through his spaces if you haven't been there. But yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, but warning, just don't be careful about the portals and the rabbits. You guys, this is 2 hours and 5 minutes into the space. And one woman, I'm so glad you came up to share an Altered Alley. I love that you're always willing to help people out. And Gen Ops, please connect. Please definitely connect, and I'll stay more connected to you. I'm going to actually put notifications on for people here because every time you post, I don't always see them. But if I do put the notifications, I will. And by the way, I don't even know why I put notifications on for Elon Musk. That guy tweets insane, and I don't even think that's him. I just saw a YouTube video where Donald Trump he had I guess an assistant or his social media manager beside him, and he was saying stuff and they were watching the election, and he was literally dictating what to tweet or post, and she was. So I'm pretty sure that's kind of Elon's setup. I'm really debating on whether I should stop notifications for Elon because it's ridiculous. Sometimes I just get notifications for him saying, yeah, yes, way to go, what up? And I'm really? So I definitely will be putting on notifications for Gen Ops and Rallo and everybody here. We have Virtual X and Meta and Meta Rider. I don't know who spoke first, but I kind of do want to close this space. Not right now, but I want to give people the time to speak, and the people who have been speaking a time to say not their last words of wisdom or insights. But I know, K-Bot, you had your hand up. Let's go to you because I think you wanted to say something in addition to what other people were saying. But then we will also have, oh my God, it's so hard to keep up with everybody here. Who did I just bring up? Meta Rider and Virtual X. Hey, K-Bot.
Now I'm going to the audience. I have too much to say, but everyone have a beautiful day.
Oh yeah, you do. We need to have like a fireside chat with K-Bot and Carmen. Like let's plan that. Let's plan that. And thank you. You have a beautiful day out in the West Coast. In balmy LA or wherever you are. Like it's insane here. Meta Rider. Hello. Welcome to the speaker platform. You have the mic.
I just wanted to jump up and say hello and thank you. I use Twitter Spaces now as I have for a couple years now as my background noise. And today's space, a lot of positivity, a lot of builders, and a lot of people thinking outside the box and trying to do things the right way. So just appreciate you for running the space and appreciate everybody in the space for sharing what you're working on.
Amanda Ryder, thank you so much. And I have seen you in different spaces in addition to this one. So I really appreciate that. Really, really. It's good to hear your voice as well. Hope you're doing really well. Enjoy the rest of the week, guys. Virtual X, hello. You have the mic.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to pop up because I always listen, but I was like, let me give an update of what's been going on, and just hearing about one woman talk about doing the 3D art and stuff. Like that's how I started, and that's the thing is with the headset, and then also like Altered Alley. That's like my Obi-Wan Kenobi, like on the real when it comes to all of this stuff, and so it's. Like when you have, I don't know if you have the Meta Quest 3 or 3S, but for anyone listening, like we are almost there. Like guys, like literally what I do every day is I go to a tennis court, walk on there with a weighted vest, weights on my ankles, weights on my wrists, altitude mask on, and then I literally battle whatever I want. And not only in VR, now things are updating, and like Meta doesn't even tell anybody. Like they don't even know because they literally just are just buying these companies and developers right now. So there's something called Battle Talent, which does mixed reality, which just call it Dungeons and Dragons and Goblins and stuff. You could set all of these on a tennis court in full scale. So I'm running around. I'm not using the controller to move. I'm moving myself. And then like it's getting to the point where I'm like the price point of the Quest 3S is like $300. So now it's at the point where I could probably buy one every week or every other week and start literally putting up flyers in town being like virtual fitness classes for free, and then get people into this. Because when you put like, I'm kind of flabbergasted right now because I'm like, when you add all the AI, so like you could create anything you want. Like the limitations are just, they're gone right now. And as far as what you can do with these headsets, and as far as increasing your skill level and your productivity, like the hand tracking on the Quest 3S is phenomenal. It's got an IR sensor on it, which the Quest 3 doesn't have. The Quest 3, so I do all my VR outside. Like I refuse to do it inside, so I don't have any psychological blockers. And so I realized the Quest 3S is great for inside. The tracking, sometimes if you're in super bright sunlight, it'll get slightly wonky, but the Quest 3, it's like butter. That's my favorite headset for doing hardcore training. But if you want to get people into VR, just grab that, or not. See, I need to stop saying VR. Mixed reality, XR, because that's where we're at right now. And then as far as like great apps for one woman, check out Figment XR. You're going to lose your mind. It is the most insane app. So it's built off of Tilt Brush, right? Which went to Open Brush because it became open source. And then some dude took that and created an entire app where you could literally grab 3D objects from the internet, place them, add physics to them. I could keep going on forever, but like I just appreciate you guys a lot because we're at a gnarly point in human history. Like I've literally gotten a job from creating a commercial for a dog kennel, pretty much, right? Got the job that day with the commercial, left there, and then went back to my old job because I didn't this is why I jumped up too, because I'm not on that W-2 stuff. I literally went to my other job today and I was on some office space stuff. I'm like, no, I'm wasting my time. The most valuable thing we have is our time. So to be giving it to someone else to build their dream, it's with the tech we have, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Like the amount of money you can make off of your own, just helping people. It's just mind blowing. And so literally what I do now, my other job is I'm talking to my boss and she's like, yeah, I need you to hurry up and get those mixed reality tutorials videos done so we could get you moved up in the company, and then we could talk to my boss about that and get that spread throughout the entire company. I'm just like, things are getting crazy. So no matter what you're doing, if you feel like that's what you're supposed to do, just do it. Everything will line up. Like nothing in my life has made any sense. But when now I look at it, when I walk on that tennis court, like with a freaking full suit on, and then people are flying drones around me, kids are like, yeah, go, dude, yeah, go. And they're seeing like, now you don't have to be that kid sitting playing Minecraft, eating, drinking Mountain Dew and all that. Now you want to be a gamer, you want to be on my level, now you better train. You're going to need knee pads. Like, I have permanent freaking what do you call it, road rash on the left side of my leg. Like, there's a lot of content I'm stacking to show everybody. But I appreciate everyone here has been a major part of my life, and I appreciate you all.
Wow. Like you come into these spaces, you participate, and then when you do come up and speak, the stuff you share is just incredible. I love that you found, well, I know you, I've known you for almost like 3 years now. You created some stuff on Over the Reality. Like, you were the first one to create, like, to use AR and merge it with the real world for fitness. And to see you have evolved into this, where you are also adapting them. Is it the 3S that is really good? Like, yeah, it's the newest one, right? It's the Meta Quest 3S, right?
Well, yeah, the 3S is actually a step down of more cheaper version for people. So it's $200, so it's got the lenses of the 2 and the body of the 2, but the processor of the 3. So you can play all the new games and stuff, but you don't have to spend like $500, and it's just so nice. It's like it's basically kind of like, let's just call it the Oculus Go, the new Oculus Go, because it's great for watching stuff, great for playing games inside. Me, I'm just a weirdo. I do it outside, and people are like, I'll literally be playing like Onward military simulators outside, and I'm like, oh man, dang it, the lawnmower guy, he needs to get out of here. Like, he's killing my vibe. He's like, dude, what are you doing outside? You're not supposed to do that. I'm like, who told you that? No, like, bro, like, you got. But me, I'm crazy. I'll test it out. Like, I was doing it with the Quest 1 when the sun would go down, and I'd go outside. And then I found out that it had night vision. And you know what I mean? Like, full on night vision. And then the new one comes out, and then you find out. So there's a trick. There's a way to basically turn off the Guardian. So I create entire Lord of the Rings battles. I mean, we're talking 10 on 10. We got a giant orc over here. I'm running over here. I spawn Goku just for fun. And you could turn off the Guardian in the developer settings. And it's crazy, because before, when you would, it scans the ground automatically, or you could do it manually. So all these polygons overlap the physical environment, right? So say I'm showing it to someone at work, and I put it on, and it scans the room. Say like it's like a counter. I can literally like slam the enemy's head into the counter, or play like a table track game on that. And then it's just not for games anymore too. It's like you have chess, you have there's stuff that you have to have a medical license to have access to, like nursing stuff. And we're getting there, because when you talk to the kids about it, they're like, oh yeah, that's dope, this is awesome. And the content is starting to go up. So I anticipate a commercial with Robert Downey Jr. using AR glasses, and that's what's going to send this whole thing crazy. Most likely Apple. But Facebook is they're plugging away with basically being a operating system. And now you just you can walk up to your Windows computer. It'll take the entire computer, put into mixed reality for you. You can grab it, walk around with it, make it giant. And then apparently with the YouTube Premium, if you have that, you could stream without Wi-Fi, which I don't even know how that's possible. But yeah, I ramble. Forgive me.
No, not rambling at all. Like, I love that. I love what you're doing. You've really pushed the boundaries for the XR, in addition to fitness. Like, I mean, you've literally found a way. I mean, people use VR headsets for fitness. Like, they do that inside their home, but you're taking it to a whole other level, going outside and really getting that full, like you don't you don't have to be within that 6 foot by 6 foot, that Guardian thing. And then the fact that you were able to remove the Guardian so you can run around in a tennis court, that's crazy. And then people are seeing what you're doing. So you're creating that mindset of, like, this is, I could see that. Like, oh my God, like, I don't know. Like, If you live in LA, get together with K-Bot. Like, I bet you if you bought a bunch of MetaQuest headsets and for a class and have that class somewhere, it is a thing. I mean, that is your thing. And I love that you have that. You got that. That's fantastic. Whew, you guys. Before we close this space, I still want to give people. I'm so glad you came up here, Virtual Lex. I really do, as with all the other speakers. But I do want to remind people that tomorrow is Super Wednesday. It's a Super Wednesday party. Woo, Super Wednesday party on Spatial every week, every Wednesday, and it is number 150. Dope Stilo is in the house, and he is the DJ live streaming straight into Spatial. And today, where are we going to have it? Not today, tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's going to be, it's milestone 150. We're going to have it at the Yacht. Alrighty then. And you can always join. You guys, this is 150 consecutive digital concerts where people get together on Spatial and see Dope like streaming live in RL into Spatial with some of his tunes. Like, this is insane. So I hope you guys all join. I do appreciate Rallo coming up and sharing what he's sharing. He's also in the Web3 music space, really showcasing people monthly and being in all the platforms that he has. We have, I'm so glad, because Dope is always busy building. He's a podcaster now. He's building in different worlds. He's all into the Unity now. So I'm glad that he actually has the time to come up and speak. Hey, Stilo, nice to see you here.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you? What's going on?
We're good.
It's always a great space when you're hosting.
Oh, thank you. Stilo, tomorrow 150, really? That is insane.
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be so special. 150 weeks in a row doing a super concert in a virtual realm, a 3D space. I've been to Metaverse, and I've been to Decentraland and Voxels and had so much fun in all of them. Spatial is really where most of these concerts have happened. And I'm just really grateful to be here, and you always bring so many special people together. So it's great to be here.
Oh, thank you. Wow. I guess I'm glad that Stilo came up. I really am. I know he's really busy, but you surely can hear him DJ he DJs everywhere, but especially on Wednesday, that's his thing in Spatial, where he's featuring the different spaces on Spatial. You guys, it's 2 hours and 19 minutes past the time, and I do want to be cognizant of everybody's time and mine as well. This is a work day for me, but I guess this is part of work when you're in Web3, connecting with the builders and creators and developers of Web3. So I'm just going to go through. I don't know, Dirk, are you still there? I'd love to go through the speakers here and give you guys the opportunity to share one last word or sentence or insight. So Dirk, if you're there, unmute. You could probably be in a meeting. You could actually be picking up a family member or having dinner. Let's just move over then. How about, let's go to Rallo. Rallo, do you have anything you want to say before we end the space? Now, he could be busy too. This is crazy. One woman, do you have anything you'd like to say before we end the space?
Just thank you, everybody. This has been incredibly great today. And in another time, when we have more time, I will actually clarify what it is I actually am ultimately trying to do with my artwork, because we didn't really cover it today. It's too complicated, but that's for another day. Talk to you later, and I am going to be wearing my glasses in about 5 minutes.
Oh my God, that's great. And take a photo of it and post it, because XReal, they're doing from yesterday, November 11th to the 30th. If you post something wearing your XReal glasses and you use the hashtag, I think, MyXReal, and you also do the hashtag XReal and you tag them, they are going to pick one winner a day from now till the 30th to win a special limited edition XReal merch. So make sure you post yourself wearing the XReal glasses, doing something. It could be a photo, a short, a reel, or something on X though. And if I know you're following XReal_global, all the information is there. So don't forget to do that. And oh my goodness. Who's just talking? Anyway, let's move on to one woman. Virtual X. Do you have any last words to say before we end the space?
Yeah, just go out and get it. Like just attack whatever you want to create, because it's you had that thought for a reason, and you didn't think to have that thought, so it was put there for a reason. And we've got the tools. We're in an amazing time, and then the window is very small. Like they're not going to let us have these magical devices and do whatever we want forever. So I say we take advantage of it, and it's a great time. So I appreciate everybody.
That's true. That's true. It's a very small window of opportunity, and we are really blessed and lucky to be at this cusp of this paradigm shift, where where you have the ability to create. If you're a content creator or any type of creator, you definitely have the tools and the resources to like just go to town. And if you are not or haven't done anything, we are all innately creators. So there's definitely the tools and platforms. And come on, there's YouTube University for whatever if you want to learn Blender, go on YouTube. You want to learn Unity and Unreal, go on YouTube. There was a plethora of what's it called? Of tutorials on YouTube just alone. Thank you so much. I'm going to go over to Meta Rider. Do you have any last words before we end the space?
Yeah, I'm going to double down on what was just said. Whether you consider that we're early or whether you think that we're right on time, every single moment that you get an opportunity to build in Web3, make sure that you're taking those moments to connect, to learn, and to build. You do those three things at the end of a year, you'll be in a good spot.
Whoa, I love that. Connect, learn, and build. That is, yep. I love it. I love when people come on, obviously, or else I wouldn't be hosting these spaces. But everybody's insight and feedback and what they share is really fantastic. And I'm so glad is this recorded? Yeah, I'm so glad this is recorded. Meta Mike, I know you kind of like dropped down, and so did Altered Alley. I wanted to make sure that I gave the opportunity for you guys to speak. Rallo's probably busy. K-Bot, I know you said everybody to have a great day. I guess you guys have just moved on into RL, which is great. Hey AJ Nick, let me just I see you wanted a hey AJ Nick from Lake Powell, how are you? Welcome to the space. And is X giving us this issue now that we can't let speakers in? Let me check. He's connecting. I hope he connects. Hey AJ.
Whoa, love and light party people. I was in your space earlier. I had audio issues, so I had to update the app. But I wanted to just share a nugget I learned just from my own curiosity the other day. And I'm new to your spaces, but I'm usually in Alex Finn's spaces. So Alex and I follow each other. And so what I learned, we were talking about content creation. And I had this curious thought. I'm like, I write music as a professional hobby. I'm wondering, there's a lot of people, a lot of content creators, it's just them presenting to the camera, or they're using like some stock music, which is okay also. But like for YouTube, right, and some monetized platforms, that stock music is going to diminish your ability to monetize, and somebody else is going to get to run the ads, right? Because it's their music. So I did it to pinned at the top of my wall right now. I just made a quick tutorial on how anyone can quite quickly generate like their own little background song. And so what we're finding is if you have background music, your retention rate is 20%, up to 20% longer, just with some good background music. So thought I would share that.
Whoa, that is a great tip and an insight. So if I understand it correctly, if you're a content creator and you're using stock music, even though it's those not, like you're not going to get docs for copywriting or whatever, the algorithm kind of like diminishes you. Is that correct?
I'm not sure if the algorithm would diminish you, but I know at least for YouTube, let's just take YouTube for example. You have a great, let's just say you're I don't know, politics has been trending. So let's say you're on a political rant, and normally it's just you talking to the camera, just vocal audio. If you were to then add some original music, any music that's good, like people are going to stick around 20% longer. But then if it's copyrighted, YouTube it's gonna hurt your ability to make money. If that video gets 1 million views, the songwriter is gonna get probably all, if not most of your money. of the song that you used. So what I show you how to do is everybody has a Mac. I'm assuming most content creators have a Mac, and so you have the software already installed, but we don't always utilize all of these interesting apps that we have. Well, the one is that, people kind of overlook because they think it's like a baby toy. It's called GarageBand. You could actually write full scale songs with GarageBand. Like, I've done that when I was just learning how to write music, and some of those songs went international. I'm not making this up. I'm registered with ASCAP. Some of my songs are being used in European films and TV shows. But what I show you how to do is get your melody, your bass, and your drums, and you can get it done in like less than an hour. Now you've got an original sound, and people might actually connect the sound to your face and your content. Like, oh, that's the background music for digital, or that's the background music for Stilo or Virtual or whoever. So, and then you've got, now no one else can copyright that or run ads over your video, and it's unique to you.
Oh my God, AJ, thank you so much. And you're right. Like, I know I'm laughing because I got a Mac. I got an Apple, and I know GarageBand. I kind of like in 2005, I dabbled in GarageBand like crazy, but now I kind of like, oh God, GarageBand. Ugh. But you know what? Just what you said is absolutely valuable. Having your, and I know this isn't new, because you've done it, you're doing it, but to have your own personalized or customized branded audio clip or sound, that is fantastic. Like having sound associated with your brand, because I know if I am on a vacation and it's a great memory, do you know what I do? I choose a specific playlist of music. I actually curate a playlist right within that moment, like on my iPod. I don't have an iPod anymore, so that anytime I play it in the years to come, I will immediately be right there on the beaches of Barcelona. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Yeah. And it's all about the longer retention rate, because if you have an important message, you want people to stay tuned. And I mean, a lot of people, if you're a content creator, you're probably professional, you make eye contact, you're making your points, you're using hand gestures to keep people's attention. But that's just one little extra element that I'm noticing a lot of people are not using. So.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining this space. And I'm glad we're following each other. And the fact that you get to talk to Alex Finn, like, wow, like, okay, then good for you.
Yeah, that guy is, he's something else, man. He's on a mission to become the first solopreneur billionaire.
Wait, is he real though? Hold on, he is real, right?
Yeah, Alex Finn. He wants to. He's one of the first people on Twitter that got really good at showing people how to get good at Twitter. So he says I believe him, but he said he's like studied all 10,000 lines of the algorithm code, and he finds out what boosts you and what deboosts you, and what gets you blocked, what gets you shared, and so he shares those secrets. So he's kind of got the edge on that, being like the first person to start teaching that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm following Alex Finn. I've known his account for like a number of years now. Like, let me see, like, how long is this old as an account? And I could be wrong, but I feel like he kind of pivoted in what he shared. I don't know. It could be the wrong Alex something, but I do remember, like, I saw his PFP, and I go, huh, isn't that Alex Finn long ago? But I like what he's doing now. Like in terms of sharing. And yeah, he did say he read the 10,000 lines of code. I'm like, really, Alex, did you really? But I'm glad, because he really has a lot of good tips. And I'm glad you're sharing that actually he is a real person. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Speaking of music, I'm actually returning DJ Go 2 little DJ deck that you can hook onto an iPad and stuff like that. You know why I'm returning it? Because my Mac cannot run oh my God, I forgot that software that comes with it that you can download. Anyway, that's off on a tangent. So guys, I really appreciate everyone here. I want to do a shout out to Mitch Jackson, who is down here. Thank you for joining, Mitch, and all other people who have joined. Woof, I'm losing my words. Yeah, you guys stayed on for 2 hours and 31 minutes, and I appreciate everybody. I'm really going to think about what everyone said. It's consistency, mental health, everybody create. And yeah, be careful. Think about what type of background music you play, especially on YouTube, for any of your YouTube videos or channels, and try to create your own special like sound or music intro just for you. So when people hear it, they recognize that. Thank you, AJ. And please, let's all join Super Wednesday tomorrow for episode 150, or Super Wednesday 150 for Dope Stilo. And there's my dog barking. Stilo, did you want to say something?
Yeah. Also, like, there's so much really cool stuff happening this month in spatial. We know of One Woman's awesome gallery in Shangri-La, which is a really cool experience. Really recommended in VR. And then tomorrow morning, I always attend Mitch Jackson's incredible workshop, where he really goes in on like what's happening.
I'm going to end the stream right now. My dog is barking. Somebody from Amazon's picking up a thing that I'm going to return. But anyway, I'm so glad everybody's watching, and have a great rest of your week. See you next week for Tech Talk Tuesday, and I will be live streaming Thursdays over the Reality Community Space. Bye, everyone.